Hey y'all, it's Corbin, and I'm here to talk to y'all about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 6. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we open up with Kelsey texting Alicia, Joellen, and Liz about her breakup. Alicia, she's walking down the street with her daughter, and she lets out this dramatic gasp, me. But I'm also Liz, because I would have FaceTimed her or called her right away to check on her. Liz FaceTimes Kelsey to check on her, and Kelsey lets her know that the relationship has just run its course. She said this before over the last few episodes that she's in her 30s, she's ready to settle down, she's ready to have kids, and her boyfriend, he's done all this before. He's much older, he's been married, he's had a family, he is past that stage in life, he is trying to just live and be free. Kelsey also lets Liz know that she ended up finding out that there were more girls involved than she expected. Kelsey, this man is super rich. He's not old. It's not like he's some 90-year-old man that's, on his last leg of life. And you agree that he can have an open relationship. You think he was going to limit that to one girl? You think he was just seeing that girl in Miami? I am pretty sure he has women all over the world. And there's no way you weren't thinking that either. I'll be very shocked if you were. You can't be that delusional. Y'all sit here and talk about Ruler being delusional. Kelsey, there's no way you're that delusional. But here we are. They have broken up. And I think that they knew this was coming much longer than they're putting off. This isn't some decision where you're just like, oh, we laid in bed. We know Kelsey's been thinking about it for a while, but this isn't some decision where it's like, oh, we laid in bed and I just talked to him and he understood and he didn't have a reaction. No. Y'all talked about this before y'all came onto the show. You let Kelsey come onto the show so she can start getting her own income so you don't have to fund her for too long. And this is where we are. That's where I'm getting from this, which is okay because at least you came on. He let you film in the house. He let you show some pictures, even though it wasn't face pictures, and he let you talk about him still. He was like, I'll let you do this much, get some money, and then we go about our ways. And I'll go find another woman to replace you in the rotation. Sounds like a deal to me. But after that, we go to Rosie's home. So Rosie, she is packing for a cash trip. We're going to Newport, Rhode Island. I'm assuming that's still in Rhode Island. And they're staying in a mansion there. And Liz and Alicia are hosting this trip. Kelsey starts talking to her husband, Rich, about how she's pretty much good with everybody except for, not Kelsey. Rosie starts talking to her husband, Rich, saying she's pretty much good with everybody except for Kelsey. Excuse me. And that people are fooled by her TV personality pretty much. That she is a shy and awkward person, which I can understand how you can be on TV doing the news and being on Instagram and social media. That's like one thing, and you can still be shy in person. The difference is girl, you're messy. You're shy and messy. I've never met someone that was shy and messy at the same time. That's crazy. But as long as you also tote the line between like, and that's the thing, is like you tote this line between like I'm shy, but then you're messy. Just like how Ashley's toting the line between girl, are you shy or you just flat out rude because you're not greeting people. You're not greeting Liz. You're not greeting Alicia's family when you go see them. Like, where do you tote that line at? So I don't know. I feel like Ashley though is way more innocent and way more authentic than Rosie is. But I do believe what Rosie's saying about her being shy. But I'm like, to what extent? Like, I feel like you're blowing this up just to make it seem like you're more of the victim than you really are. Because you're messy, girl. You're messy. I enjoy the messiness, but you're messy. But she ends up saying, I could be fake like Joellen and go, hi, hi, but that's just not me. And I'm like, here we go. When they are poking at you and turning you every which way but loose at this reunion, just be ready. Just be ready. We get to Joellen and her sister Jen, and they go shopping. They end up talking about the passing of their grandfather and how it was hard and took a toll on them, just like the passing of their father. And they were pretty much the ones who checked on them and helped them out and just dealt with situations, especially pertaining to their mother. So then we get into the relationship that they had with their mother, and Joellen felt like Jen was the favorite child. Jen tells her, like, look, mom does love you. She's just not good at showing it. She's not going to show it the way that you wish she would show it. And I've learned to accept that. She was like, if I tried to get mom to change, I'd be just banging my head against the wall. And so I think that's the difference between how they grew up, the way they grew up. I think Jen probably just realized, okay, like mom is tripping. This is what it is. She's grown. No, she's not going to change. I just got to deal with it. I just got to take my licks and deal with it. Versus Joellen is too rebellious and she's like, no, like this isn't right. I can't do this. And so it was always a problem between them. So I feel like things were easier with the sister because she just understood what it was. She understood what it was and it was as simple as that. But Joellen felt like I feel like Joellen has acted out pretty much because of how her mom has treated her, but then her mom is like, look, you're doing this, and blaming her for it. And it was just like a cycle. The mom's not treating her right. Joellen's acting out because of it. The mom continues not to treat her right. It's messed up. It's not right. But then we go back to Liz, and Liz, she's visiting Kelsey. See, you can tell these girls are real friends. Liz FaceTimed her to check on her, and now she's visiting Kelsey. Kelsey talks about how she's never lived alone. Same. I've actually never lived alone myself. I went from living with my parents, I had roommates, I'm married now. Saying difference is though, I've always been working. I've been working since I've been 15. So when I was still living with my parents at 15 and I was able to get a worker's permit, I've been working since and have not stopped working. I've been working since then and have not stopped working since. So that's the difference. Sorry, Kelsey, can't relate. But Liz thinks that Billy is better for Kelsey because they have the same life goals. And I'm like, just because you want to get married and have a family doesn't mean the person is perfect for you. But Billy's been around a long time. They all know him. Kelsey's family knows him and likes him. So this is a little bit different. But just because someone has the same life goals and they just want to have a kid and do this does not mean it is the end all be all. Everything is going to work out. That does not make you compatible just based off of those few big things. But she gives Kelsey some encouraging words and gives her a gift. And like I said, I love that these girls are really friends. That's a dynamic that's missing on all these other TV shows. And Kelsey, I'll give her credit for this. She realizes that it's time to be an adult. She realizes that she's gonna have to make her own money, whether she has to do hair or whatever. She realizes that she has to pay her own. She's gonna have to figure out how to pay her own bills, even though she doesn't know what type of bills she needs to pay. She recognizes these things. Because I feel like any other person who'd be leaving a situation like this, leaving someone who's so rich, one, they'd be clinging on to it until they couldn't anymore. But two, after they do leave, they'll be trying to like attain that same lifestyle without working. And she's recognizing that this isn't going to be easy. So I do commend her for that. After that, we get to the trip. So all the girls are getting ready to head to Newport, minus Rula, and they head there in these vintage Rolls Royces. And I said, this is what I love to see. Give me some wealth. I said, they might be going on a local trip, but at least they're staying in a huge mansion. They're cruising in Rolls Royces. Like they're making it luxury, local luxury. Okay. So Alicia and Liz, they try to call Rula in the car on the way there. Rula does not answer. We get to the house, and so with this house, it belongs to Liz's friend's best friend. And Liz is known as friend, not the best friend that owns the house, but the friend that knows the friend. Because this is what we do in Rhode Island. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody. But Liz has known this girl for 40 years. She said she's known this girl since before some of these girls were born. And this is why Liz is that girl. Okay, Liz knows everybody. Liz is that central figure of the group, and I love it because she's very even keeled too, and she calls it as it is. She's not afraid to call like both sides out. Like she calls out, the girls when they're being messy. She calls out her own friend Joellen, saying, "Girl, you're not authentic about how you feel about this ruler situation." Like she stands in it. She's not afraid to speak up speak up. So Liz is that girl. Liz is that girl. But back to the house. The house is 100 years old. It was assembled in different parts of Europe and then shipped here. It is 43,000 square feet, 29 beds, 18 baths. Okay? Crazy. Crazy. Liz and Alicia, they arrive first and they choose their rooms. And it doesn't even matter because there's so many rooms, you can just go anywhere. And what I would like to say, because I just did my Atlanta recap before this and they're fighting over accommodations and dirty rooms, take notes. Because I am tired of these TV shows with these grown women fighting over accommodations. Y'all are grown, established, and y'all should be, I'm not saying like the richest in the world, but y'all should be well off enough that y'all can get a place that's comfortable for everybody. Take notes, Atlanta, because this is how you do it. And they didn't even go anywhere. They went down the street. And so the girls, they have lunch with Alicia's dolls. And so they come out, they have some champagne and a little wagon. It looked really cute. It was giving very much Cinderella. And as they come out, Joellen sees Rosie's outfit and she's like, "Oh, you look like a stripper." And Rosie's like, "That's what I was going for." And Joellen gets in the confessional. She's like, "I should have told her I didn't like that outfit. That would have been nicer." And my thing is this. Somebody, y'all were talking about Rosie's outfit, and then someone complimented Liz before she fell in the grass, saying her outfit was nice. But Liz looked like a damn pirate. She did not look like she was dressed for this tea party doll dinner. She was not dolled up. She looked like a pirate that her ship got lost in the sea, and the lighthouse from Rhode Island guided her to shore, and she just walked up to this lunch. Like, I don't know what that was, but Liz still my girl. But the girls ask about Rula and her not being there. And Joellen thinks that it's rude that Rula isn't there. Alicia jumps in and Alicia's like she's been beat down and she's choosing to believe Rula's choosing to believe Brian and I don't think she wants to hear it anymore. And I'm like, thank you. That's the point. Like Joellen just doesn't understand, girl, no one's saying you're wrong. We all agree with you. So you don't need to prove to us because her thing is, oh, I need to prove that I'm not a liar because of this childhood trauma. You don't, because everybody else believes you. It's just them two. Let those two be in denial. Let them two be their own demise because that's what's going to happen, especially from the stuff I saw in this mid-season trailer. It's going to happen. But Joe Ellen, she says that she's trying to help, and Liz does not believe Joe Ellen is concerned about her. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, Liz. We same. And Alicia, she's like, it's done. Like, just leave it. Let it go. And then the girls are just decide to table it until Rula is there. I'm like, what are y'all tabling this for? Rula is going to stand by this man until the wheels fall off. The wheels are off, actually. The body of the vehicle is just dragging on the ground, sparks flying everywhere, and Rula's still standing until the vehicle burns and it's just a shell of a vehicle, a pile of ashes. She's not leaving. And you gotta let her just deal with it as it comes. But the girls break before dinner, and Alicia, she's out there looking for treasure with a metal detector. Joella, she's FaceTiming Gary. And what I got out of this is the swinging rumors are true. Every rumor that has been said on here, I'm not gonna say every rumor, but I feel like at least like 85% of these rumors are true. I believe that Liz and Dino had something going on, but I also believe that Gary knew about it and Gary was okay with it. I think it was an arrangement. I believe that Joellen and her man are swingers because she says something about the swing and then he goes, I saw you swing. Yeah, big swinger. Verbatim, he said that. You can't tell me otherwise. Hey, they're a cute couple, okay? But yeah, I believe in half of these rumors that are happening. I do. So after that, we're having a masquerade dinner. Liz is handing out masks to each of the girls, and her commentary on each girl was almost spot on. She hit the nail on the head with these girls. So for Rosie, she assigned Rosie her mask because she wears a big, larger than life facade. But what's deeper? Dun dun dun. And then Ashley received her mask because Ashley tends to subdue. Joellen, she's the jester, but Liz thinks that there's more heavier stuff going on, which we know. She hasn't probably outwardly said it to Liz, but we know what's going on with the trauma that she's dealing with her mother and facing all of that. And then, of course, her grandfather also. Kelsey, we have Kelsey. People see the dark, closed off side of her, and those who really know her see the brighter side. Well, I'm waiting to see the brighter side because all I've been seeing is a negative person. That is just shady and a mean girl. Alicia. Alicia puts out into the world that everything is great, but there is a not so perfect side beneath it all, pretty much, which is true. She has this like bubbly personality. She's quirky. She's a little bit ditzy, but I think deep down inside, especially when they had that scene at the Rail Explorers, and she was talking about she was rehearsing what to say to her husband, and she like got real deep and started crying immediately. There's a lot of other baggage going on under there too. they hand out the mask. Alicia, she can't pronounce the word facade. She's like facade and everything else. Bless her heart. It's just Alicia being Alicia. Ashley, she can't breathe in her mask, which is funny. And it's funny too that Ashley's always crying because that mask looked like a baby face. It looked like a baby's head. So it was like, let's just, she always crying, let's give her the baby. Liz comes out, and so her mask is a wolf. And the meaning behind her mask is that the girls see her as a big bad wolf, but really she's a sheep in wolf's clothing because she's really sensitive, even though they see this like tough side to her. Deep down inside, she's really sensitive. So the girls, they open up, and so their job is to, not their job, but the goal of the dinner is to pretty much open up and be deep and then just peel that mask off and reveal yourself. So Joellen goes first, and she says that a lot of bad comes from her childhood trauma, and that her mom put her in a behavioral program. And Alicia vouches for. She goes, "I remember that. It was awful." And so we know that's why she has this whole issue with trust and proving people wrong and stuff like that. And so she admits that she doesn't start things, but she continues it, and that's a bad trait for her. And I love an aware queen because that's what you are, Joellen. You're an aware queen, and I respect that. So Liz, she jumps in and it's her turn now. And so she is a hard person and she's afraid to let people in because she's scared of losing them or scared of being disappointed. And it stems from her mom passing away when she was young. Her mom was sick at the age of 12 and passed away at 15. And so because of that, she has abandonment issues. So Liz, peel your mask off. I'm laughing because Ashley's next. We get to Ash. Can't even get there. We get to Ashley. And so Ashley starts crying because she has nothing to cry about. She is crying for the future. She's like, when I went on The Bachelor, I thought I would have the sob story, and I don't. And looking at everybody else and their sob stories, I'm just worried that somebody's gonna die soon. Someone's gonna die eventually, and she's just in tears. Now, as much as I'm laughing at her, that's something I would do. I'm very dramatic, especially get a few cocktails in me, and I'll start thinking about, oh my God, my dog is gonna die in like 10 years from now. You know, somebody's gonna die in like 15. I'm definitely that type of person to start crying for no reason. Oh my God, but it was funny. But yeah, so she cried because she don't have no problem. Sounds like a good problem to have to me. Rosie, she ends up talking about how she has really bad anxiety and that she's shy, and that between working on the news and being on Instagram, she has learned how to pretend for people because she put on this look and just like this facade of what people expect her to be when she's publicly presenting herself. I get it. I get it. So then Kelsey, she goes, I have a tough exterior, but I'm sensitive when it comes to my relationship. And that was it. That's all we got from her. That was it. And then you have the nerve later on. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to say, oh, this is the most honest Rosie has been and so transparent. Well, girl, what was that? You didn't give us anything. But we didn't have time actually because as soon as she said that, the girls, they all grilled Kelsey about her ex. When I tell y'all, these last few episodes, I've been dragging Ashley about her potentially being rude, her being sensitive, excuse me, all these things. But this episode, she has grown on me between her crying over nothing and then the rest of this episode. Ashley was working this evening. The girls start grilling Kelsey about her ex, and Ashley was asking all the right questions. Someone asked, I don't think Ashley asked this first question, but she was like, how's Bill different? And so she said, because he cares and he listens. And so it's like she drops these little breadcrumbs about her relationship, and it's like, girl, Your man didn't listen to you. He didn't care because that's what you're saying right here, right now. He lied to you about how many women were in the picture, even though you should have known that. And it's like the more and more you give us, it wasn't even just like, oh, I'm leaving him because I want to start a family. It's giving, I'm leaving him because he was also treating me like trash, too. That's what it's given. But then I think this is Ashley that asks this, but she's like, have you talked about marriage with Bill? And I'm like, girl, she ain't even at the house yet. Her stuff is still in boxes. Her stuff is still in a U-Haul truck, and y'all talking about marriage right now? Give her a second. But she does say that Bill is marriage material, which I believe. Bill, he seems like a very nice guy. I like him from the little I've seen of him. But then Ashley's like, do you still talk to your ex? That's what she asking all the right questions. Ashley was on fire tonight. Kelsey says that he's still paying for things, and Rosie's like, "Oh, so now he's your real sugar daddy. At least before, if he was you could at least act like he was your boyfriend. Now he's just a flat out sugar daddy." Girl, the way she was getting abused and used, the way she's acting right now about how he never cared and anything, he was already just a sugar daddy. Ciao. But Kelsey ends up saying that no, but he still pays for things. And as much as Rosie's giving her some flack about that, I'm with Kelsey. Yeah, they were not married, but you were with that man for 10 years and he was financing everything. This is the least he can do when he knows that you're going out into the world to try to figure it out yourself. If they were married, she would have left with a whole lot more. So, yeah, it's the least he can do. I'm with her on this. I am 100% with Kelsey on that. But then we get to Alicia. And Alicia goes, she went through really dark times. We've talked about this a little bit before how her father left her mom and he took the house and took everything. So Alicia says, because of that, her dad left them homeless. And Liz is like, girl, you were not homeless. You were staying at one of your family members' houses. The house was nice. And Alicia was like, yeah, but he took the home. We didn't have our own home. We were homeless. And it's just Alicia being Alicia. I love her. It's funny. But this is what I'm talking about. I like Liz because Liz just calls it as she sees it. She calls it as she sees it. But we get to the aftermath of the dinner. The dinner's starting to wind down. And so Kelsey tells Rose, she goes, I think that's the first genuine thing that has come out of your mouth. And she's like, this is the first time I feel like that you're really honest. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but I appreciate it. I'm like, girl, I hate when people, guys, things where I don't mean this in a negative way or not to be mean, not to be rude, no shade, however you want to say it. It's not going to change what's coming after the statement. Okay? And so Rosie asks what she's not honest about. And Joellen's like, Rosie, you're being defensive. And Ashley jumps in and is like, no, like that was a backhanded compliment. Like I said, Ashley was on fire tonight. She was crying. She made me laugh. She was asking all the right questions to Kelsey, and she's holding them accountable right now. Granted, it's because Rosie said you need to defend me more, but hey, she's being a good friend. So now when it's Ashley's turn, Rosie, you better have her back. That's all I'm saying. Even though Ashley's probably not going to get into anything. She's really sweet. But if she does, Rosie, we'll see how this turns out. Because that'll really say something about your personality. But yeah, Ashley's like, no, like that was a backhanded compliment. And Joellen is doubling down, like, no, I think Rosie is the one bringing the negativity. And so Rosie and Ashley, they go to their rooms, everyone disperses, and they start talking about the dinner in their room. And they're talking about all the other issues too, going back to the whole picnic they had on the beach and just all the back and forth that pretty much Rosie and Kelsey have been having. So Kelsey and Joellen, they're walking down the hallway and they hear them talking. And so they're listening at the door. And as much as I'm on Rosie's side with all of this, I commend Kelsey because Kelsey walked right up in there. Kelsey's like, you think I'm going to back down from a fight? Absolutely not. So she walks in there and she's like, so what we talking about? And Ashley, because like I said, Ashley working tonight, she goes, we're talking about that backhanded compliment you gave her. And so Ashley asks her, like, what do you think she's lied about? And Kelsey's like, she's lied about the house. She's lied about how she got fired, saying that she was on medical leave. And Rosie gets in her confessional, makes a good point. Like, girl, you're mad about things that don't affect you. You can sit there and say, oh, this is a testament to your personality. Like Kelsey can say that about Rosie. But okay, that's fine. If that's what you think, why are you so insistent on it and just pushing at her and like just picking at her over it? Just leave it. If she's fake, everyone's going to see she's fake. All of these girls are very independent and all these girls are very good at forming their own opinions. You don't need to prove to anybody that she's fake. It'll come out. She messy and the girls are seeing it, so you don't need to worry about that. But what happens next? Yeah, she talks about the house, and then it's like little things too. It's like, girl, Rosie starts explaining herself, and Rosie's like, okay, I mean, the house is 15,000 square feet, and Kelsey's like, no, it's only 1,000. Girl, y'all are really fighting over 500 square feet. 500 square feet is one room. That's just one bedroom. So you're just saying she may have an extra room, may have an extra closet, or may not have an extra storage room. What are you saying right now? Like, you're really being nitpicky. And how did you even know the details? Do you have a blueprint to her house? Like, what's going on? And so you're criticizing this girl on all these things that you don't have because you don't have a house now. And even if you did, you're looking for a way to pay for it. You can't pay for it. You don't have a man now. And you don't have a job. You're just starting to do hair. So, and you're already complaining that people aren't even shouting you out on that. So you can't even influence right. Like, you're attacking her on all these things that one don't affect you and two you don't have. I never thought the way Rosie was messy this season. I never thought I'd be on her side, but Kelsey, I'm on her side right now. So they start going back and forth. The other girls come in, and Rosie pretty much tells her, look, I'm sorry that my answers aren't good enough for you, but it is what it is. And Kelsey's pretty much like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Rosie feels like Kelsey is determined not to like her. Kelsey feels the feeling's mutual. Then finally, Rosie kicks Kelsey out her room. She was like, you said what you said. There's the door. And so Kelsey storms out and she turns around. You could tell she was mad. She was like, whatever, bye. She's walking out. She's like, Joellen, come on. And Joellen come scurrying right along behind her. But that's where the episode ended. It was a cute episode. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I missed Rula. I missed Rula. Not even, I just missed Rula. I don't know. Something about her, I just missed her. But it was still a cute episode. Let me know what you guys think. Bye, y'all.